Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Waldhart and you are here with Amanda's Inspiration Station. Thank you for visiting. I actually wanted to hop on here today because I am going to be doing this for my hostess club, and I thought, you know what, this is just helpful for everyone. Has anybody gotten the prized Peony set yet? It is a bundle. And it is gorgeous. I love it. Peonies remind me so much of my grandmother. She used to have them in her backyard along her fence line, and I used to love them. I would love to plant them now, but I do know they attract ants, and I just don't have a place to plant them right now that wouldn't be up against our house. And needless to say, I do not want ants up against my house. So I'm going to show you guys something that I looked at these pieces, and I'm gonna briefly show you all the matching dies here. And I was like looking at all these pieces, and I thought, oh my gosh, how in the world do I do this? Okay, as you can see, these are all the pieces just alone for a flower. Okay. And I thought, whoa, how do I do this? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable, very elegant card. Actually, it's just a very elegant card. And I'm going to show you how to make this flower, but we're also going to make a quick chart. So I have created this quick chart, and I'm just going to put it in a, one of those sleeves. It's just an 8.5 by 11. And once you create this, you'll always know that you can store it wherever and be like, oh, okay, this is how it goes. Because I don't know if you're anything like me, but I am so forgetful. I have to write to-do lists every single day. And even then, sometimes I forget, or you go to the grocery store. This is my favorite. You have a grocery list. You have it written down on the grocery list. You come home, and yet you still have managed to forget 1 to 3 items. Please tell me this doesn't happen to only me, but if it does, there you have it. This is why I've created this. So today we're going to quick create this, and then we're going to quick make a card. So I have this Dymo maker that I bought on Amazon, and I use it in my craft room all the time because I label everything. I am such a labeler. All my drawers are organized and labeled. I have my 6x6 papers, my 12x12 papers, everything is labeled. So we are actually going to label this, and I use this. This on Amazon, I believe, is like $23. It is one of my favorite things in the entire world. So there's that. And I've already cut out and punched out these little labels here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of the dies. I'm going to put them back on my thing here so I don't lose them. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on this, okay? I've only cut out, I've pre-cut out the pieces so that we can do this together. Right now, though, I am going to do the chart minus this flower because I've only cut out 2 flowers ahead of time. And this flower I'm going to use on the card. So that way I thought, well, you know what? We'll do the chart, we'll do the card. But at home, you would actually want to cut out 3. So 1 flower, 2 flower, and then the pieces to the flower to do on your chart, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to peel this off first of all because this is what we're doing is the prized, I say peony. I don't know if that's like really the right way to say it, but that's how I say it. I know it's not other things that I've heard other people talk about. We won't go there, but okay. So first I'm going to show you how to do the card or how to do the flower, okay? Actually, no, you know what? We are going to go ahead and we're going to mark them first because that way, if you mark them first, you will remember which piece is which. Okay. I have just a black Sharpie marker here, and I am just going to go ahead and I'm going to write 1, 2. This way you remember that these are the pieces, 3 and 4. Okay. So in that order, you are actually going to put them together. So you're going to take piece 1 and piece 2, and you're going to stick the bottom of piece 1 through this little piece of 2. So you're just going to slide it right on in there. Okay. Now I want to show you something because right now we're just doing this. If you look now at the bottom, you will see that both bottoms are exactly the same. Okay, that's how you know that you have it matched up. So now you're going to take 3 and you're going to slide it into this little slit, and you're going to, flip it over, because you can see it better if you flip it over, and see how it matches the same. Now you know you have it, okay? And then you're going to do the same thing for 3 into slide 4, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to match it up here. I'm going to not adhere this right now, because this is the one we're going to use for our little chart sheet. And you're going to pretend that that 3 is not there and that we just made this beautiful flower, which we did. This is now where you can take your flower and you can bend it back to give it more dimension. And before you even put it together, if you want to use a little sponge dauber, which I will grab one so you can see, or a sponge, I did not grab them beforehand. So here's a little sponge. Here's a little sponge dauber. You know, you can always flick these to give them more color around the edges. We're not going to do that today, but there's lots of things that you can do with it, okay? So right now, we're going to take this apart because we just made our flower, and we're going to make it one more time. So, you know, practice does make perfect. But right now, we're going to make our chart, and I'm going to work from the bottom up. So I'm going to stamp first, because these right here are all the pieces of the stamp set that actually have dies to match. So there's these dies to create this flower and these leaves. And then these are stamp sets that have separate dies to them. Plus, then there's also this die right here. It's like a border die. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out my Memento ink. And right now, I'm literally just going to stamp these images. And we're just going to kind of tap it. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start from the bottom and I'm going to stamp. And I'm going to set this. Actually, I'm going to clean that off because that one we're going to use again for the card. And we're not going to use it in the Memento. We're going to use it in the petal pink. So then we're going to use this one. We're just going to stamp. Okay. And we got our leaves. And we got our leaves. And then I just realized that I have one more that I did not put on a block that actually comes with, this guy right here comes also with matching dies. So we want to put all of them on there. Okay. So that way, you know, when you're doing, when you pull this out, you know, down the line, and maybe you have it and you made some beautiful cards with it, and then a year from now you decide you're going to go make another card and you realize, oh my gosh, I forgot how to do this. Well, now you know. So we're going to take this little sticker here that says dies to match. And again, I made this with my label maker. That way you know that this one right here is, we have dies to match this. Now with this, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out my adhesive. I've already pre-cut these to save time on the video, because sometimes, anytime I can try to save some time, I'm going to. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to lay that like that. Okay. And I just realized I have some little extra goobies here. So let's get rid of those. We'll just, oh, push them out along with all my leaves. We're good. All right. So now we're just going to use our adhesive, and we're just going to set these in place of one, obviously in order, right? Because you want to make sure that you're doing it in order. 2, 3, and then 4. Now, I did not show you when I had this together. Oopsie, I need to move these over just a little bit closer, because otherwise I'm not going to have room on the page, which is fine. See, look at that. I'm making a mess here. There we go. And we're just going to set that there. All right, so now we have our 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we also have our 5. This is the center, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a little glue dot on here, because when it's little pieces like this, I like to just grab a glue dot and be done with it. And I will show you when we get to making it on the card how to add that to it, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write 5 on there, because that really is the 5th piece to the flower, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to place these, put some adhesive on the back here of these, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, okay? Now we need to match these, because these actually, you don't have to use these on your leaves. They just kind of give it an extra little two-tone, you know, color, but you can do just your leaves solid color. And the 2 colors that I'm using right now are Soft Seafoam and then Pear Pizzazz. So how you would attach them would be like this when you do it, which we will, again, go ahead and we will do it. But for now, I'm just going to attach them on here above so that you know that, hey, that one goes with that one. But it's kind of like a puzzle. You just kind of put it on there to make sure it fits first. And if that's the one that fits, then that's where it goes. So, okay, we're just going to go ahead and do that. All right. And I'm just going to kind of tuck this one over here because I didn't really leave much room for that one. All right. Now, at home, you would cut out another set of these and you would build your flower right here. So that way you can see your flower, and then this is just your easy chart. Put it in a sleeve and then set it aside. Okay? So that's to help you from not forgetting. All right. So now let's go ahead and let's make this very elegant card. And I got some sticky going on here, so I'm going to just take my little sticky eraser because it's bothering me. It's like going up to my countertop where my kids eat, and I put my arms down, and Lord knows what's on the countertop there. All right, because they never, you know, why would they wipe up the counter? That's silly talk right there. They would never do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab myself. I like these little, they're for the Stamparatus, and they're just little grid papers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this stamp set here, and we're going to ink it in the petal pink. And I'm just kind of going around like the edges, like this, and just kind of turning it like that. And then this one, I'm going to kind of do this side, just like that, okay? Because you don't need to do the center. You're basically covering up the center. And this right here comes from the same suite. So this is, and I don't even know the name of it. Let me see here. Well, there is a name for it. Let's pull it out, because otherwise it's going to bother me. And in case you're wondering. All right, so it's right here. It's the Peony Garden Designer Series paper set. Okay, so that it comes from that. And I'm just going to apply this on flat. I'm not using dimensionals. And I'm just going to apply it like that, okay? Now, with this right here, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the flower last. We're going to place this here, but first we need to stamp. And we're actually going to use our Versamark. We are going to use our white embossing powder. And then the saying is love and thanks to you, dear friend. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to emboss, emboss first. So we're going to, and for those of you who have never done this before, this is fun. So all you're going to use is your Versamark stamp pad. It is sticky and clear. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to place it. You're going to stamp it right on your piece. Okay, and you can see it. And then you're going to sprinkle your embossing powder. Now we're using white, and do not be shy. Do not be shy on that. You're just going to tap it off. Okay, now you can set this aside for a second before we heat heat it. The only time I wouldn't suggest setting it aside is I would not stamp a bunch of these images and not put the powder on right away. Because it is sticky and it is tacky, but it will dry. So always stamp and then put the powder on. If you need, like if you're making 5 cards or 10 cards, do it like that. And then go back and you can heat emboss it. Because nothing's going to happen to it right now as long as the powder's on it, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead, and I have my Stampin' Up! Heat tool right here, but I am going to grab my tweezers because this is a little piece and I don't want to burn my fingers. And I've done that many times, but usually it is more with a hot glue gun. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to heat this up. And it usually takes about 15 to 20 seconds before it actually gets heated to where it needs, where it gets hot. But once it does, you'll see, and hopefully you can see this on the video, it'll start to brighten up to a bright white. I love it when it changes like that. It's like changes right for your eyes. All right. Just gonna heat it a couple more minutes. All right. That should be good. All right, and then I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to put some adhesive on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to set this down like this. All right. All right. Perfect. Looks a little crooked though. Maybe it's just my eyes. There we go. There we go. It was crooked. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's make let's get this out of my way. Let's go ahead and let's glue our little like leaves together. That way we're getting that done and out of the way, and then we can just put our flower together and attach it, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my little glue here on the back of these. I love these glue sticks. Stampin' Up! Doesn't make them anymore. I know there's other companies that have them out there, but I am on my very last one. It's called a 2-way glue pen. Oh, and I miss them. This is how I prefer to attach like alphabet letters too. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to match this because this one is the one for this one. And I'm just going to attach it on there like that. Okay. And this little one goes there. And then this one right here will go like this. So I'm going to flip that over. Out of curiosity, how many of you have this set yet? And how many of you love to play with it? Or, another question, how many like this set, but saw the pieces and thought, oh boy. Oh boy. Because I know that's how I felt when I first saw it. I was like, oh boy. There is a lot of pieces to this. Okay. But I guarantee it's kind of like riding a bike. You do it 1 to 2 times, you are good to go. I am going to grab a wet wipe though, because again, I'm feeling this stickiness from my little pen. I should have used my silicone mat, but you know, that would have required me to think about that. And since I didn't think about that. All right. Now we have our 4 pieces. We're going to put our flower together and then our 5th little centerpiece. So remember, we're going to pull out our chart. Okay, so we're going to pull out our chart and we're going to match up these pieces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to place them in there. Now, I'm going to pop dot them up. So, excuse me. You will need to, once it's all together, I would like secure it with some sort of adhesive. I've done it 2 ways now, actually. I've done it where I've done a couple glue dots on the end here, and then I've tucked it in and attached it to the back. But this time I'm not going to do that because I'm going to use dimensionals. And I'll show you how I do it that way then. So I'm going to tuck this into like the little slide and I'm going to bring it all the way down so that it matches. So it lines up, okay? Now I'm going to hold it securely and I'm going to do it to the same one for, so now I have 1 and 2 piece in my hand and I'm putting it in piece 3. All right, and I'm matching it up, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it into the last piece. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to match it up. All right, so, okay, so now it's matched up. I'm going to leave it like that right now because I'm going to grab my dimensionals because clearly I wasn't prepared today. All the stuff. And I'm actually going to set a dimensional right there. And then I'm going to set a dimensional right there. So that way I'm overlapping it. And I'm going to do a dimensional up here. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that right now. I'm not going to mess with that. Now, we do need to set in our little center. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set our center. I like to set it kind of right in there like this. And to secure that, I am going to put a glue dot on the back of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to set it inside. All right. And I am going to kind of fold out these flaps a little bit. Just kind of want to give it a little dimension. Just going to kind of fold them out. Now, granted, this is a card, so if you're mailing it, you can try and do this, but it will probably end up being flat by the time the person receives it. But, all right, so we're just going to kind of go like this. And you can even take this one a little bit and kind of curl it up a little bit. I mean, you don't want to pull too hard on this one because this one could rip. All right, so now we have our card. And you know, I put together 3 of the little things, but we're really only using the 2. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach this to the back. And I'm going to attach it with a glue dot. I'm just going to put a little glue dot on the very end of this guy right here. And I'm kind of just going to kind of match it where I want it. Okay, obviously I don't want to put it over top of the dimensional. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one here, and I'm, again with the glue dot, and I'm just going to kind of put that one down here. But you know what? Since we have this, let's use it. Why not, right? Let's use it. Let's do it. So I'm going to put a glue dot there, and I'm actually then just going to kind of go like this. There. There. We'll just kind of turn it like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off the backs of the dimensionals, and I'm going to just kind of lay my card like this. Okay, pull out the little guys again, curl it up a little bit, and voila. Oh, I do have this crooked. See, maybe it wasn't crooked the first time and I just thought it was crooked, or maybe I cut it crooked, who knows. So there, what a cute, I mean, beautiful. It really is a very pretty card. And I love that I have this chart now. So again, you know, 6 months from now when I decide to pull this out and I'm looking at all the pieces and I'm thinking, do I remember how to do this? Yes, I do. But you know, for those of you who are demonstrators, you know, what a great thing to do with your teams or your customers to have them, show them, like, do a class on this and have them make a card and a chart, you know, something simple. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just recently started doing videos back in April, so I'm still a newbie. And that's okay. We all have to start somewhere. I love it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.